Clock out, come home, and drink away. To bash and burn the weekly plays. Sushi calls and sweaty balls, this is Scotch Sporting.
She's not looking. She's missing the finger guns. Sorry, I know I said finger guns were gonna be gone, but I had to like wipe my whole computer this weekend, so I had a rough go.
Finger guns are back, baby.
Why would we even get rid of them?
I don't think we ever can.
No.
Speaking of finger guns, has anybody played Elden Ring?
My brother's still playing it because I'm still finishing up Horizon, so
Gotcha.
before I jump into that.
So there's just a lot of finger references in Elden Ring.
Oh, is there?
And so it's very easy to make like finger jokes.
The fingering jokes?
And one of the first NPCs you run into makes fun of you for not having a maiden, which is pretty hilarious. They're like, you're playing Elden Ring. You're obviously single.
Is that the new Elder Scrolls game?
No, it's the new Dark Souls game.
Oh.
It's really good.
Yeah, but Dark Souls is just so hard.
Yeah, and so is this.
The
but
game design, oh, it's so good.
Not fun hard though.
Yes, fun hard.
Oh, it's fun hard.
No, it's very.
Did you
fun
guys
hard.
find Dark Souls fun hard though?
Yes.
Yes.
Because that's the baseline for me. That is unfun hard.
So what the problem is that you've only played the game at the lowest level, and when you get to like the high levels where you're just like bashing, like where you're killing all the minion dudes like with one hit, that's when the game opens up. And also the PvP is really fun. Invading other people is fun.
Well, that's what you do.
Obviously.
That's your thing.
By the way, Mark has
Hmm?
a 666 behind him. I just want to point that out.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
didn't do it on
Don't-
purpose. I just saw it. I'm like, oh, well, let's just leave it.
Sign of the times. We're
Anyone
really
want to guess that 66 jersey is, though? 'Cause you
It's,
can't see the name of
It's Kawasaki.
it. Yeah. And then the other 6 is...
That's got to be
Roy
a.
Kent.
Does Roy Kent wear 6?
He does.
Oh. He's here. He's there. He's every fucking where.
Fucking where.
Screen Actors Guild ensemble winners
Yeah.
cast of Ted Lasso
Best
with
show.
Jason Sudeikis. I love Brett Goldstein and I think he's wonderful as Roy Kent. So this is not taking anything away from him or Jason Sudeikis, but Nate not being constantly nominated
Yeah.
is a travesty
Yeah.
Oh, we all know why.
Why?
because he's brown.
Oh, is that why?
Oh, I'm just...
Oh, okay. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm just pointing it out.
I didn't think the Screen Actors Guild was racist.
It's like Ukrainian refugees. Like, everyone's okay with Ukrainian refugees, but when it was Syria Ukrainian refugees, whoa, no.
Whoa,
Oh,
no.
Are we getting there already?
Oh yeah. Well, I was saying Brett Goldstein. I thought he was. I mean, I guess if he's Israeli, by way of it could be, but I thought he was Middle Eastern at first. No,
Yeah,
just a Brit, just a British Jewish guy. Anyways, let's start talking about race right away.
Right away, we're going right to the leadoff, or no?
Oh. No,
No?
I guess we could. We have a lot of diving to do.
Because we do have a lot of diving. That's why I'm like, we should get into the meat
I
and
had two.
potatoes.
Should we get into starting? Can I just start? So just a plug, and I was right on time for the podcast because it was posting to Instagram. Please go to @Scotch Sporting on Instagram. I just want to tell you guys about what I saw on my walk with Bort this morning, and then the follow up, what I saw with Bort this afternoon.
Hold on,
So
let me bring it up. Let me bring it up here.
I walk with Bort in the morning. And I live in an area of Toronto that is fairly suburban. It's kind of as suburby as downtown, like the core can get. And I live near a big park. That it's a very well-off area. I've never been scared walking by myself at night. Blah blah blah. There is a fellow sleeping on a bench, which is fairly unusual for our area.
Right
in the park, and down further in the park, I see a dinner plate. And on this dinner plate is a full Mickey of vodka.
Ooh.
a
Nice.
sealed bottle of Fanta, and 6 neatly stacked oranges.
Okay.
It's on the stories.
Where the hell is stories? Oh,
The
no,
top. Oh my god, you boomer!
Where the
So
fuck
click
am
on
I
the
looking?
click on the circle.
Oh, this.
Yeah,
Okay. There we go.
Jesus Christ, that's me and Rowan. He's
Yeah.
helping me with my workout today.
Well, that was nice of him.
Here's our bets. That's
Bets.
Mark's lock of the night.
All right.
We have Gabe's, which we'll
Oh,
get
here
to,
we go.
and then
Oh, in the words
next-
of Joel Akbar, it's a
the
trap.
next thing's a video. Well, funny you should mention. So here's Bort walking up to it. On the other side of the street are 2 cop cars.
Interesting.
So I was like, "Is this a trap? Like,
Yeah.
where's the box with the stick and the little string?"
What if you just grabbed one of the oranges?
I was like, "Are they there for the man on the bench? Is it was far enough away from him that I don't think it was his."
Right.
But I was like, "Is this a trap to nab homeless people?"
Terrible.
And so I went back at lunch.
Mm-hmm.
The man was on the bench.
Uh-huh.
1 cop car was there. The plate and the Fanta and oranges were there. The vodka was gone.
Ha.
Same amount of oranges though.
Yes, no one had taken an orange. So I need to know what this was. I'm obviously going to go back tomorrow and see what of this scene
Right.
remains.
Yeah, we need follow-ups.
While I was there, the cop, it was not in his vehicle. As I'm leaving the dog park, I see a cop running to the car, getting in and driving away. And then later this very evening, there's 2 cop cars in my townhouse complex.
Oh my goodness.
Related? I don't know.
Possibly.
So, anyways, check out our Instagram for the conclusion of this harrowing tale.
Maybe when you go back to the spot, just look over to the cop and just yell, "Eh?"
Are these to take? Like, can I just take one of these?
Can I take 2?
I really like
I mean,
oranges, man.
You peel them, so COVID wise, they're probably pretty safe.
Exactly. You can just run them under the tap, anyways. Who cares? COVID's over, guys. COVID
It's March
is over.
2nd.
No
COVID
more.
ended.
We don't have to show a
yesterday.
vaccine passport when we go to the movies.
So we still
What
wear
is-
masks.
Yes.
What is your company doing, Chris?
As of right now, there's no.
Oh, I guess you never would have required passports anyways, right?
So
Right.
we've removed all the signs from the windows relating to capacity limits and things like that. It's basically right now just please wear a mask.
And even that, I've heard the Peel. Are you guys Peel region?
No, we're we're Hamilton. Tyler's Halton.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, because apparently the head of Peel doctors is going to recommend we don't need masks soon
Yeah, I've heard March break.
because it's a real big deal. Anyways, okay, let's get to our Scotch boarding lead off, where we take 5 topics, introduce them, give you guys a minute to riff on them. Okay, so we will start because we do have some deep dives to get into. We have 2 because I don't think any of them would have done justice on our lead off.
Right.
So, if you were Marketing 101, if you were Merry Marketer, Tyler sent this around that Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams were left off the Green Bay Packers advertising in London. It's a picture of the Beatles' Abbey Road album, but with Packers.
How original.
I know.
How just
So
original.
so clever.
I wonder if people in England are like, fuck, every time they see that. Yeah,
You know they
okay.
are. You know 100% they are. They're like, there's more to England than the Beatles.
Well, so I watch.
And Abbey Road.
And Abbey
like,
Road, yeah.
I still watch The Bachelor. I know this season I hate watch for sure because it's just. And the last 2 seasons, there's been a Canadian who made it pretty far. And so this year they did come to Toronto. And so it's been 3 seasons in a row. They're like, well, let's try some Canadian food. And it's fucking poutine. And you're like, there's more stuff here.
Yeah, there's craft dinner.
Well, we're in Canada. We have to play hockey.
Yeah.
Ketchup chips.
Ketchup chips, all dressed chips.
Dave, KD, and then we'll get to our rundown. Dave had the Cheetos,
Yep.
the flaming hot Cheetos. KD,
Yep.
Definitely had a bellyache.
Oh no.
He did eat the entire box.
Yep.
Of course.
I'm just gonna super quick. What about you? Oh, apparently the serving size is the entire box. For the stream,
Whoa.
this is the color.
That's very red.
That looks exactly like the Cheetos
Yeah.
flaming.
Yeah. Okay, so my question for you guys, if you were Mary Marketer, you have two options. You put Aaron Rodgers to woo fans to the game and try and get more interest because he is probably one of, if not the top star in the NFL right now.
Well, he's the MVP.
He's one of the most talked about players in the NFL. That's
Or
for
do you
sure.
MVP doesn't mean popular. Or do you leave him off? Do you do what they did?
Well, you have to leave him off just in case. You don't want to be that guy who.
Hey. Start the clock.
Okay.
Go.
Now go.
You don't want to be the guy who makes like 500 bobbleheads of a certain person, and then when it comes to the season, that person isn't on the team. What do you do with those bobbleheads?
Yeah, it's a good point.
But this is digital advertising.
Yeah,
Don't you want to?
yeah, this is. I feel like if you really wanted to, you could have put Aaron Rodgers on, and then oh shit, he's not going to be playing for the Packers. We'll just put somebody else in there. It's an easy swap. No?
Is he currently under contract, or he is a free agent
He
right
is
now?
currently under contract.
He's still in the contract.
That's why I put him on the fucking thing. There's no way I don't put him on it. He's on
So
my
do you
team
think-
until he's not on my team.
Do you think someone knows something that made that? Like, that's the tinfoil hat theory.
No, because the rumor is he's working on it. Like they're working on the contract right now. He's not going anywhere. As much as I want him in Denver, he's not going anywhere.
They just gotta get around that cap situation.
Clock out.
That's true.
Oh. Okay. I feel every week I have a what question. So I got to pull this up because I need to do it justice by reading exactly what this is. Tiger Woods is sort of back in the news. Like every year, I think like I haven't heard of Tiger Woods in a while. He's back, baby. Tiger Woods he's won he finished first in the inaugural player impact bonus. So Tiger Woods hasn't played in a PGA Tour event for more than a year while recovering from injuries suffered in a car wreck. He won the tour's inaugural player impact bonus. The program measures the popularity based on a set of criteria. Woods, a 15-time major champion, collected the $8 million top prize the tour announced on Wednesday. Second was Phil Mickelson, and then who got $5 million. Then Rory McIlroy, Jordan Spieth, Bryson DeChambeau, Justin Thomas will all be paid $3.5 million. While Dustin Johnson, Brooks Koepka, John Ram, and Bubba Watson will earn a $3 million bonus. My question for you guys is, what the fuck? What is this? Do you agree with it? Can anyone make a justification for it?
Sorry, this is money for being popular in golf.
This is correct.
Where does this money come from? That's a shitload of money.
Bullshit. $8 million for being the most popular player in golf.
But then
Fuck
he
off.
got 8, and then Phil got 5, and then you listed like 10 other guys who got at least 3 million. So you're talking there's like $50 to $60 million that they're paying you just for being popular.
The PIP bonus pool was increased from 40 to 50 million this year. It rewards the top 10 players by an impact score, which is determined by 5 metrics. And you can keep going after the minute. Their popularity of Google searches, their Q rating, their Nelson brand exposure rating, the MVP index rating, and their Meltwater mentions, which measures the frequency that a player generates coverage across various media platforms.
So, this is like
Mark's face is
this has
this
like
is just their advertising. Like they are the ad for the PGA. So thank you for bringing us more money.
This has
that's
Silicon Valley like douchebag marketing, like digital marketing all over it.
I guess what that is, it's hey, thanks for okay. So
Yeah.
with that, then my backup question, because I took time to explain what it was during the clock. Are you guys surprised that Tiger Woods is still the top of all of those metrics?
No.
No.
Really? He hasn't played in a year, and even before that,
But-
he hasn't been successful in
it.
like 5.
If you're going on like Google searches and shit, people are going, "Oh, where's Tiger Woods?" I'm gonna Google it. Tiger Woods.
I like your.
And
I'm gonna
that's like,
Google
Hey,
Tiger
Michael
Woods
Jordan's
voice.
still probably popular
Yeah.
in terms of
Yeah.
basketball,
I,
right? Once you see that level of greatness, you're always just gonna be there.
So a frequency that a player generates coverage across various. So what's to stop like create a bot of be like Bubba Watson, Bubba Watson, Bubba Watson, Bubba Watson,
Well, because it's hard to create a bot that.
Bubba Bot. You're
bot.
welcome, Bubba Watson.
Get to
Okay.
it, dude.
Next guy, I'm gonna praise Mark is wearing his jersey, I assume just for me. I'm gonna praise the Maple Leafs.
Holy shit,
Now
they're down 3-1 to the Sabres.
Oof. I
Yeah.
will say I don't hate the Leafs. I hate a lot of Leaf fans.
Agreed.
I will be pleased with their success on behalf of the city of Toronto. I just said it like someone who's not from Toronto. I apologize. They recently played the Washington Capitals with our favorite Tom Wilson, who dropped John Tavares, and no one responded. Sheldon Keefe praised the lack of response in the press conference. As hockey fans, and I know we've talked on this podcast before about how we feel about fighting in hockey, how do we feel about this absolute lack of response when a thug drops your captain?
I don't like it. I mean,
Really?
you don't have to ask for a fight, but to show some sort of defensive awareness of your fellow teammate doesn't mean you have to drop gloves. Just get in his face and
They're playing
You know.
into his hand, though. That's what he wants.
no. If you go up there and start cross-checking him, drawing, give yourself a penalty, then yeah, okay, but just make sure you're in his face and say, you're aware that he's aware that you're aware.
I see you.
Yeah.
I see you.
This
see
is
they
the
doing
shit.
nothing.
This is the
See
shit
me.
I fucking hate about hockey. This is the shit that I hate about hockey. You know who would be really pissed about this, by the way? Don Cherry.
Who's-
Don Cherry
Yeah.
would go on for an hour about this if he still had a platform.
And he'd be obviously pro hitting.
Oh yeah, he'd be like, "Oh, there's a bunch of softies, probably all Europeans."
I like Sheldon Keefe's
Like-
justification.
I'm just asking for a scrum. I'm not saying to do something illegal like Brad
Why?
Marchand and
What-
sucker
but-
punch, like,
Hey,
But what does
Hey.
this? Hold on. What does the scrum solve? Nothing. He's still Tom Wilson's still going to come out and do it on the next shift.
But then what's John Tavares feels like? Oh, no one.
Who cares? Play fucking hockey.
He's your fucking captain.
Play hockey.
did they win that game?
They did
They did.
That's the best
because they
revenge.
didn't
Yes.
respond and they
I'm not-
kept playing hockey. Because Tom
I'm not
Wilson's
saying
is
the
trying to
response has
play
to
a
be something
different.
illegal. There
Tom-
are other in hockey stuff you can do that's physical that doesn't require you to do illegal stuff.
Tom
So it-
Wilson makes his living on getting under your skin and forcing you to change the way you play hockey. If you see him knock down your captain, you're like, fuck it, we're going to play the game exactly the way we've been playing it, and we win, that's the fuck you to Tom Wilson. That's handling it. You don't need to fucking play his game. Play your game.
What if it wasn't Tom Wilson? What if it was Backstrom?
Well, I mean, it's the same thing. I mean, I understand there's this old like, oh, that's the captain, or oh, that's the goal scorer. We gotta
It's your
protect him.
teammate.
Right. Was he
Chris,
hurt?
We're playing on ball hockey teams
Of
together.
course.
How many times when someone else got like decked or
Hey.
something, we all
Of course, because that's what you
They
do.
do.
But that's
That's all I'm saying.
but what I'm saying is you don't have to do that. That's what Tom Wilson wants you to do.
There is a big difference. I agree with both of you. There is a big difference between
Way to sit on the fence.
No. Shut the fuck up.
I get it.
Cut his mic, Chris. Cut your own mic. There is
Hey, he's in charge.
I know. There is a big difference between like Tom Wilson and another guy setting up a fight for later, and Tom Wilson dropping Tavares, and in the moment, someone coming behind Tom Wilson and shoving him.
Right.
And that immediate reaction of like, you dropped my captain, go fuck yourself. I don't mind that. It's the hey, Tom Wilson dropped our captain. Do you want to fight in the middle of the ice after?
Right.
And like,
Yeah, that I don't like. That's stupid.
But I get Chris's point of like,
I get it. I get it as
that's
well.
what I'm saying. If it was the non-goalie Nicholas Backstrom,
Right.
would Chris feel differently? Because I get it that maybe the fact it's Tom Wilson, he is not going to learn from this.
Right.
He is going to continue to be a piece of garbage.
But do you think so? So now let's insert Nicholas Backstrom instead of Tom Wilson. Knocks down Tavares. So now you go and give him a little shove, and he's down on his ass, and now he thinks twice next time. Is that what the whole?
Yeah.
That's what the whole thing is. Nah.
Yes.
Nah. Nobody's thinking twice. You've played ball hockey. I played ball hockey. It's not professional, but your tendencies are your tendencies. And if you're gonna hit somebody, you're gonna hit somebody, and you're not gonna think about, oh, last time I got hit. You don't think about it. You just do it. And so what I'm saying is by playing into Tom Wilson's, I'm gonna get under your skin. Just don't fucking let him do it.
Tyler, would you like the final word on this before we go to a Tyler topic?
To be honest, I agree with Chris.
Vindicated.
Fine, I'm team Mark then. I don't want to sit on the fence with this. I'm gonna, because I agree with Mark.
You have Brad Marchand on your team.
It looks bad as an image on your team because that just lets other clubs know, oh, we can run over your star players and not get retaliated. No problem then.
All that matters at the end of the night is the fucking scoreboard.
And given that the Leafs record in the playoffs,
okay,
yeah, that's gonna run real well.
Well, let's see. Maybe the Leafs aren't gonna let that kind of thing get into their heads this time. They're gonna be like, you know what? We're just gonna go out there and fucking play hockey.
And
they're gonna knock us over. We're gonna get up and we're gonna play fucking hockey.
And they'll beat Boston.
And they will beat Boston.
I was really worried for a while, but swimming's good, so I'm not as worried anymore. Okay, Tyler, soccer. So a Russian oligarch, Roman Abramovich, is selling Chelsea, which I feel like is a huge deal because it is a club that I have heard of.
Correct.
So
I thought the same thing.
I mean, we'll get there with our deep dive, but these are the types of potential sanctions that I'm okay with, of like, hey, foreign money can't invest in any of our
stuff,
our teams. So please, how do you feel about this, Tyler? Is this a direct result of what's going on, which we'll get to with the war? It's like a spoiler. Everyone knows there's a fucking war going on. Do you think it is a result of this? Is this a huge deal as I think it is because it's a team that I've heard of? Your minute is to explain this to us.
Yeah, it is a big deal because it's not like Chelsea is bad or losing money. So, and to put a price tag of only $2.5 billion on it,
that seems low to me.
I was gonna say it's a pretty good deal. So I do think it has everything to do with what's going on in Russia and Ukraine right now.
So should we be buying?
I think if you can scrape together $2.5 billion, yeah, absolutely invest in Chelsea for sure.
In? Everybody?
Yeah, I'm in for at least like $100.
Empty your pockets. What do we got?
Yeah, I got some pocket change lying around here somewhere.
Shit.
There's some dog treats over here.
I brought the comb though.
I'm wondering who's gonna buy it though. I don't know if there's any like British
billionaires.
People going, yeah, I don't see.
I'm sure there's someone in the Middle East that has money that can buy this team. Like,
yeah, like odds are the British billionaire already owns a team. So, yeah.
How many of the major FC clubs, like the premier teams, are owned by foreign investors?
oh, probably a ton.
Oh God. There's a bunch. Liverpool, Man City are owned by American groups.
What's the one
For
Ryan Reynolds
sure.
owns?
No, that's
It's
AFC
a
Wrexham.
Welsh club. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a Welsh club.
Him and Rob
Yeah.
McElhenney.
Yeah, it's. I don't know the answer to that off the top of my head, but I would say that there's quite a few.
Do you think it is the majority?
I would say it's the majority of probably the Premier League clubs, not all of the England clubs.
That's it. Because does that exist in North American sports? I can't think of foreign ownership off the top of my head.
I'm sure
That's
there
kinda any
is,
of
but
the-
I don't. Yeah, I don't think it's.
I wouldn't. I would say that there might be a foreign member of the group that
Right.
owns.
Yeah, but no
The
foreign.
group that owns. Yeah,
But most of
But,
the
like,
North
the
American
group-
sports are only big in North America, though, right?
That's true.
Yeah. The
That's fair.
group that owns Liverpool is the Boston Red Sox.
Who also own the Penguins, actually.
The Boston
For
Red
now.
Sox, the Penguins, and Liverpool. Wow.
They just bought the Penguins like a couple months ago.
Very diversified portfolio.
Remember when the Penguins were
Uh,
going to move to Hamilton?
Well, that same group that bought the Penguins were looking to buy MLSE.
Wow.
Yeah,
like
Damn.
the league.
No, MLSE.
No,
MLSE, the organization.
Oh,
Ah.
I just heard MLS and I was like, what?
that would be intense.
Okay, so number 5 is gambling, and I will give the floor. So check us out on Scotch Sporting. I'll post as many as I can on Twitter because Chris just learned how to check stories. So that's very exciting. So Mark, as you guys know, has been doing a lock of the day. And our good friend of the podcast, Gabe, has just started a Shots official Instagram account because he has been hitting that an odd amount of times.
We did
so
big again last night. Did you see that?
yeah, Gabe's been doing like probably 4 of the last, I want to say like 6. He's had one of his shots bets. So how shots work is you can't pick someone for, you can parlay, but you can't parlay within the same game,
Which is stupid.
which is stupid. So you take, so he's been taking sort of one player in each game or one player in most of the games and usually doing the over because you never want to root against the under. And he's been hitting usually the ones that he doesn't send me. So I hope he is listening back to that or hears through the mic. He's on with Dave right now. Mark, please tell me about your process in determining your lock, because you have just started posting your logic behind things. So talk to me about your spreadsheet.
Basically, I have my spreadsheet set up into 4 different tabs. There's a tab that tracks each team's record at certain odds, whether they're the home favorite or the road favorite. And then the second tab is their record when the games are set at 5.5, 6, or 6.5. Sometimes there's 7, sometimes there's 5. Then I compare those 2 records, and then I look at what the record is for those odds of getting over on the goals as well to determine the over-unders on my bets. So I have this huge spreadsheet. It's over 4 tabs. It's huge. It's then I tally it all up, and then I look at how teams fare in certain situations, and then based on that, that's where I find my locks. And then I pick one of those to be my play of the day.
Wow.
That's just a simple. It takes me hours to determine all that stuff.
Of
And
course.
you're usually, even when, and I will following, please follow, gamble responsibly, start with low amounts,
Clock out.
but please follow because Mark, even if his locks don't hit, overall, he's usually in the green. And it's very rare there will be a streak of losing of more than like 2 nights of his locks in a row. So if you don't follow Scotch Sporting, also follow @MarkBun because you often post other things you're betting on. You post your overall spreadsheets at the end of the night, and also follow the brand new account which is Shots Bets, and that is Gabe posting his shots. And like a goddamn nerd, Dave, please call Gabe a nerd. He is not doing his shots when he hits. So the point of shots
Is you gotta,
is you have to do a
you gotta
shot.
clang them.
Okay, so we have 2 deep dives. I don't know. Do we want to start with the one that could end in our demise as a planet?
Let's save that one for last.
I was gonna say, or our mental demise, because what we were all looking forward to might not happen.
Yeah, let's do baseball first.
So I have no other what's the word, conclusion to draw other than God doesn't want me to ever go to spring training. So as you guys know, 2 years ago, Dave won the ability for us to go to spring training. And our trip was supposed to be this time, like 2 weeks from now, this time 2 years ago.
Oh, I wonder what happened then.
It was the weekend before the world shut down, and I cried. I cried when the trip was canceled. And spring training was still happening. I was like, what the fuck? This is so stupid.
Yep.
Like, we're all fine to go. The players are still... So, I mean, joke's on me.
Joke's on all of us.
Last year was still COVID.
Yep.
And this year, I was like, Dave, you should reach out and just see if we're still eligible for this. Because they said, like, we'll make it up to you guys. And, oh, boy. So, no baseball.
No
for
baseball.
A while.
At least for opening day, right? The opening
First two
series. First
The
two
first-
series.
The earliest that opening day can happen is now April 4th.
Okay.
So the first 2 series are canceled. It's been interesting watching the 2 narratives, and obviously this would be a very different story, I think, without social media, because I think we'd probably only be hearing ownership and MLB's narrative.
Yeah.
Which was apparently they were never close.
But they
to a
said they
deal.
were, right? The league said they were.
The league said they were,
Yeah.
which was apparently a publicity ploy.
Yeah.
Okay.
They
And
want to
then
make
to
sure-
say,
make sure
oh, the
the
players
players'
came
fault.
in and changed everything.
Yeah,
the reason why
exactly.
we're not playing is because the players.
Right. Even
It's the
though
players' fault.
it was the owners who instigated the lockout.
Yes.
Yeah, so I get
And
it's
been
interesting.
drinking for 42 days in negotiation, and then came with an offer.
Right. And said it was a final
Which-
offer too, right?
Yeah.
Love
yeah.
when they say that
And
shit.
again-
It's never a final offer. It's not a final
And again,
offer.
it's interesting that Chris, you had heard that they were close to a deal,
Yeah.
and it's like, no, that is completely
Right.
the money honey behind it said they were close to a deal.
Yeah.
And it was 42 days because apparently the players sent the league their stance that long ago, and the league sat on it for weeks.
Okay, so what this explains to me is that the people who run this league, the owners, are too rich. And I'm going to explain to you why that's the case.
Go on. I don't know if it needs an explanation, but go on.
But so they're so rich that they're willing to sacrifice. We're 2 years into COVID, okay? This would be the first year where every stadium is going to be full to capacity, and most of them are going to be maskless, and it's going to be like 2019. So you're going to have the opportunity to have as many fans, but we're talking about a sport that's in decline. Less people care about baseball now than ever.
Mhm.
And you're willing to just not play and have no coverage except for negative coverage.
Mhm.
And listen, shit like this damages your league. It damages your fan base. I don't watch hockey anymore because of the last lockout. Because when that lockout happened, I'm like, I just don't care anymore. It just reminded me that I don't care. And I was watching it for no reason.
You can pick up the phone and go ahead and call the Montreal Expos and ask them how the last lockout worked.
Exactly.
Yeah, and apparently this is part of the negotiation tactic that players are calling them out for. Is the ownership for the most part are billionaires,
Right. And they don't give a
care.
shit. They don't give a shit.
They
But
don't give a shit.
I mean, it just boggles my mind. Like you're really willing to handicap this league even further than it is, because
And I don't think they have. Oh, sorry, Mark. Go ahead.
Here's the thing about those owners though, is that they don't see this as a sport that they want to grow. They just see this as a business, and they're looking to turn a profit. That's all it is to them. That's why they're not giving it to these players requests for just to raise, against the cost of inflation.
And Mark,
and we see damage in the game. As a young player or as a kid who's an athlete, if you're going to grow up, are you going to decide to play football or baseball? And given how much money is involved, look at Kyler Murray. Easy decision. I'm going to go play football. I can't make money in baseball.
Okay, I have two questions. First of all, Mark, do you know anyone, because you hear about the two prong players.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know anyone who chose baseball? They all choose football.
Yeah.
They all were like, oh, I was a star college athlete in football.
I think 20
and
or 30 years ago, you choose baseball.
They all chose football. All of them. Everyone chose football. So this is the other thing, is a lot of the ownership, and I don't know if anyone are dynasty owners.
Right.
Right? Like it's a lot of like or it's owned by a big company who like Rogers owns Ted Turner who owns other shit.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Who it's just another
Baseball
income
is just
stream.
a hobby for them. Just
Right.
like, okay,
Yeah,
that's not income stream.
it's either dynasty owners or it's a hobby.
I want
And
a
like,
sports team to be my hobby.
Exactly.
I mean, I think that's why even Jeter left the Miami ownership group, because he realized that these people weren't interested in making a winning baseball team. They were just interested in making a profit.
Right.
So that's
why he got out of there.
That's apparently part of the strategy it's basically like sweating them out.
Mm-hmm.
The owners know, hey, we can go without a paycheck longer than you guys can.
Yeah.
So Ross Stripling is the Blue Jays representative for the MLBPA, and he said, yeah, they gave it to us their counter like at the 11th hour and added more stuff assuming we wouldn't notice. Like, I think they're also dealing with a smarter group of players than they've been used to. Like they're edgy. So I'm just sad about this. Like a very good friend of mine is very upset. She's having a tough time at work, and she's someone who will watch every game. And she's like, it was just nice knowing that in a couple weeks baseball's back, and I know at 6:00.
Yep. Sportsnet.
There's something to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can clock out of work. Sorry, Mark?
No, say especially in the year where the Jays are contenders.
Yeah. It really hurts as a Jays fan.
Yep.
Because again, about Ross Stripling, he was like, one of the articles said he told an agent in Florida to say what rentals are available so he could get ready to go. He'd been going to the gym because he's like, spring training might be 2 days. Like I might have 2 days warning to go to spring training now. And so what about those people that are kind of at the precipice of a career, basically the entire Blue Jays organization, who a lack of spring training could really, really hurt the team? It sucks. It just
like there's no spring training. Like what are we gonna get? Maybe a couple of tune-up games, 4 or 5 tune-up games, and then you're playing the season.
Yeah, what do we have? Did we have a full spring training last year?
I don't think so. Oh no, maybe we did.
No, we did.
Yeah.
We did.
Because we don't need this baseball as fans. Like, this is going to put so many people off that need this coming back from COVID. You're the first sport to come back.
Yeah.
In this world where we're kind of recovering.
NFL did pretty much the whole season like COVID.
The NFL had ignored COVID the entire time. But this is like, I don't know, this time feels different.
Right.
Of like, hey, maybe we are through this. And
right.
Baseball could be like, yes, hold my hand and come with me in a journey
of everything going to the ballpark.
Remember
when your dad took you to the ballpark when you were a kid? Now you can bring your kid to the ballpark like the olden days. And it's like, yeah, and don't bring your mask because it's over. And it's like, yeah. And now,
no,
I never
nothing.
had that, Chris.
You never had that.
No.
Ugh.
My first Jays game
Yeah.
was when I was working at Rogers and got the discount. And hey, you know what? Sweet.
We talked about this before. I got my dad's company tickets because it was in the late 90s, mid to late 90s, when no one cared about the Blue Jays. And he got hockey tickets once
Mhm.
in kind of the 10 years that I remember, but he got Jays tickets basically whenever he wanted. So I went with my dad a lot because no one
No
wanted
one.
them. And they were really good. It was before in the action seats, and there was 4 rows back from home plate.
Oh, nice.
And I was an 11-year-old, 12-year-old girl being like, holy crap, boys are cool.
Look at all those butts.
Look at all those butts.
Why are their
And this
pants
is-
so tight?
This is the original Alex Gonzalez. What a good era for butts. Any final thoughts before we move on to a topic that we probably have no business talking about?
Are we gonna see baseball this year?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, eventually. I don't know if
I'm thinking May.
I hope you're right.
Wow.
I hope you're right.
I think
but
that
the damage is already done. It's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
good.
I think the public needs to get angry about it, where the public is just apathetic now.
Well, and that's the danger of this whole thing.
Yeah.
I think we're at that already.
And if the public continues to not care, then we might be in trouble. But if people get angry about it, then maybe. Okay, so we're just going to talk about the fucking war from a sports lens.
Right.
So please don't get mad at us that we're not talking about the actual political disgustingness of what's going on. Obviously, it's fucked up. Obviously, it's terrifying. I think some of us here have experience with military and wars and atrocity. I know my dad was in the army. My grandpa was in a concentration camp. Like, it really fucking sucks. And so we're just going to throw that out there.
Blanket. Yeah, blanket statement. It sucks.
We know we are a stupid sports podcast and we are stupid people. So with that, I did want to talk about how the sports world is handling the war
Right.
in Ukraine. And it's 2 things that I want to talk about. It's like, should we just ban all Russians from sports? Should we sanction certain things? Should we say so? Like the soccer thing's interesting because it's like that I get because it's a foreign investor,
Mhm.
and you can sanction that. But so the CHL is banning Russian and Belarusian. What do you call it?
Belarusian.
Russian.
Belarusian. It is just Belarusian. They're banning Russian and Belarusian players from their draft.
Right.
The Ukrainian consulate has asked Canada to ban Russian athletes. CCM, and this one's interesting because it's a private company, has stopped using Alex Ovechkin and Russian players in this global marketing. So what do we think about Russian players?
I mean, so
That's a tough one, though.
so
right?
here's the
'Cause-
thing, and it's funny because me and Lindsay were talking about this the other night, and like with the sanctions and what they do and why, because you're not hurting Putin, you're hurting
No.
the people.
Yeah.
But you have to hurt the people for there to be a change. And as much as this sucks, and again, I don't think the NHL should be like, oh, LV, you're out. Like, anybody with Russian passport, you're out. Like, I don't think that that's the answer. So I'm gonna say no on the athletes. I'm gonna say if you're playing professionally here in North America, like, yeah, you're playing. Like, I don't think you can kick those people out, but like definitely keeping them out of the World Cup, keeping them out of any international
Yeah,
stuff.
so we'll get to that. Well, or maybe we'll just make it one big topic. So the Olympics have not banned the Russian,
No,
of course
Belarusian
not.
athletes.
So
Of course not.
they're letting the athletes go and compete, but they're not under the flag. They're they're as individual competitors. There's no Belarusian flag, there's no Russian flag, there's no ROC, there's none of that shit.
No, fuck right off, because those athletes are still supported financially and
the
trained.
Russian, yeah.
Yeah. And
No.
and given their drugs as well.
Oh yeah, yes.
So no,
Yeah, they've already been given their drugs.
I'm for every Olympics going forward until this shit. Actually, I mean, I don't even know.
International.
Just you're just out.
Anything international.
You're just out.
Yeah, anything international. Yeah.
You're just out.
The IHF, the World Cup.
Yep, you're
the
out.
Olympics,
You've chosen to isolate yourself from the rest of the world. We all live on this same rock, hurtling through space, and you're the ones who are going to be like, yeah, we kind of want to fuck around a bit, and if you try to come in and tell us, we're going to blow the whole fucking planet up, which is basically what he fucking said. Sorry if I'm getting political, but you're the ones who want to live outside of the happy community that we're trying to maintain, then fuck you. You can't play in any of our sports.
Until we all burn an inevitable heat death because we fucked up the planet with global warming.
That doesn't matter.
Well, so yeah, the Paralympics are happening right now. And I just can't imagine being a Ukrainian athlete.
And having to compete against a Russian athlete.
And I get the Russian athletes were already competing under the Russian Olympic Committee banner, which is obviously go back in the archives for the bullshit, how we thought of that. But apparently the Belarusians are just gonna like cover the flag on their jersey. I just can't. I get, and they're like, oh, it's all we can do under the current IOC regulations.
You know what you can do is fuck right off and get out of that. Get out of that. Get out of the
competition. I can't imagine being a Ukrainian athlete and looking a competitor in the eye who is competing for Russia and being okay with it.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, so again, I don't want to penalize the athletes because they didn't do anything. They're not causing this. They're not any part of this, but you're competing, representing that country. You should have the judgment to be like, I'm not going to compete for this country. I'm not going to compete at all. Exactly. Make a statement. I do not support this, and I'm gonna sit out because I don't want any of praise for my athletic ability to go to that country.
Yeah. So how do you guys feel about that? You know, like THL and not drafting Belarusians, a call for the ban of Russian athletes.
I'm okay with
not using Russian players.
So definitely the marketing thing. I'm definitely okay with that. I'm definitely okay with the CHL being like, yeah, we're not drafting anybody going forward. So players who are already here, you're fine. But we're not.
You can't reward that. Yeah, you can't reward
need to put pressure on the people who are making the decisions to invade Ukraine. And the way to put pressure on them is to have the people of your country be pissed off at you. And so if the people of the country are pissed off at you, you're going to maybe look and be like, all right, maybe this is a bad idea. Because you know the average people in Russia don't want this invasion.
No.
So the way to get pressure on the people who make these decisions is to make the people who don't want this to begin with even more angry because, they can't buy a fucking iPhone because Apple's not sending any products to Russia. You can't buy a CPU for your computer. The AMD and Intel both announced they're not sending any products to Russia. So
you can't go see the Batman.
You can't go see Batman.
You can't see anything.
So
nothing.
But
you can't play EA games.
It's easier to do that against a traditional democracy. I think it's harder given how this is set up because Putin is pretty much a dictatorship.
I understand. I understand that, but there are still more average people than there are the people in charge. And so,
but given that this guy has the touch of a button to,
I understand, but there's still way more.
I'm not saying don't fight back. I'm saying
Right.
it's going to take a
I
lot
no,
of
and I
time.
understand.
That's happened.
There's got to be something with not hurting the players and the people and the athletes, because who knows their story, where they come from, like if they were backed by the government or not. They might just happen to have a Russian passport. But there's got to be a way to hurt that financially, though. Like, I don't want any
Well, the
sanctions
ruble's
on the.
less than a penny now. Like,
Well, I just mean like it's the like I'm thinking of Ovechkin, who's butt buddies with Putin. Like, freeze his bank accounts, or like
Yeah,
don't like.
is Ovechkin's family in danger though? Is that why he's saying what he's saying?
I very have a very distinct memory, and I apologize if I've talked about this in the podcast before. But my mom and I used to be big fans of figure skating.
Mhm.
Still am, but I don't watch it like I used to. And all of the Russian players or skaters, I remember when they didn't do well, my mom would be like, "I'm scared for their family," and it's like none of them like lived in Russia anymore,
Mhm.
and they like. So it's very like, and my mom used to say like, "Oh, they have to land as triple because they're holding their wife somewhere."
And let's not forget, Panarin disappeared for a few days because there's speculation that his family was in danger.
Right.
Well, we heard that rumor. We
Yeah.
know the tinfoil hat theory we talked about on the podcast last season when he was taken. There was a hit on Tom Wilson.
Yeah.
Took him down because Ovechkin put a hit on him.
Yeah.
So there's got to be a way, like, hey, we'll draft Belarusian and Russian players, but anything they earn goes into a trust.
And so they don't get any money.
Well, they have to defect essentially. Then it'd be like the old USSR when like Sergei Fedorov
Oh, okay.
and all those other guys defected.
Yeah,
Even Malkin had to do something like that.
because I don't
in the
want
NHL.
your money going back.
Yeah.
It's the money. It's not the people.
Right.
I don't want your money going back. Because the people weren't super big fans of Stalin.
You know what sucks is this whole
He
fucking thing.
starved his own people.
Right.
Yeah.
This whole thing is like so hard to fucking take a side on. Like it really
Really?
is. No. Like I mean, to take a side on this, like what should we do with these athletes? Like that's so hard to take a side
Oh
on.
my God. I thought you meant the war, and I was
No,
like,
no.
are you fucking
You know
What's
kidding
wrong?
me?
Putin getting some of his.
You know,
Come on.
Putin's kind of a genius, guys. Like, let's be serious. No, seriously,
Wow.
because
Chris Taylor supports Vladimir Putin.
no, stop it. What I'm saying is because you like, especially for me, like you want this to be over, and the clearest path is making Russian people hate Putin enough to make him stop doing this.
And I
And that's the
disagree with
clearest
you.
path. Okay, what's the clearest path without killing
Because
him?
History
Mm-hmm.
of Russia's been questionable for a while in terms of leadership.
Have they?
A little bit. They pissed off the people back, in the early 1900s, and that's why Russia noped out of World War I to deal with their own shit back home and the slaughter of the Romanovs and Rasputin and all that shit. But then we look at World War II, and they had a dictator in Joseph Stalin, and was not liked by the people, starved his own people, killed millions and millions. They won that war because they just had more people to
Right.
throw at the Germans. I don't think getting in a dictatorship, getting the people pissed off at you.
Mhm.
Not sure Pol Pot was super popular in Cambodia, that type
I'm
of thing.
here in Canada. I guess
Exa-
that's a silver lining.
So we have Mark.
Yay. So
The horrible human atrocities that occurred in the country of Cambodia. We have Mark.
I just think
I think that the path is you have to get the money.
right.
It's all about the monies. Cut off the monies. I think things like that, like selling the soccer team, although I don't think it was I think it was his decision. That's the type of shit that works.
Yeah.
Yeah, once you get all of Vladdy's buddies
Getting
not being
poor.
rich anymore,
Yeah.
that's when change happens.
Okay.
Yeah, you need the oligarchs to
Yeah.
stop it. Kick them out of every ownership group. Freeze their bank accounts. Stop. I like CCMs not using. I end my contract with Ovechkin. Like, sorry, you don't
Yeah.
get our money.
Still has that Team Putin website up. Come on.
Oh boy. Chris, any final thoughts aside from you're a big fan of what's going on?
You know, hey, listen, we can at least say it's not boring.
Oh boy. What a folk hero Vladimir Zelensky has become, or
Zelensky.
Yeah, it's crazy.
What a hero to the people, and what a fuck you to the Freedom Convoy.
Oh, I love it.
Canada.
That's my favorite thing about it is
Anyone supporting that, I hope you're listening or you're watching the news. And I don't really think they have bouncy castles. The people who was just on the news this morning that stood in the road to block the tanks from getting to a nuclear site, they didn't have children on the front of those lines. They didn't have a barbecue pit opened up.
Did they have a hot tub?
They did not have a hot tub. So you can go fuck yourself, everybody, yet again involved in that. Final thoughts before we do our call for sports news? No? Any other sports news? Do we have anything light to end on?
Mark, this is where
TFC
you
home
come.
opener Saturday.
It's
Woo!
yeah, there
TFC.
you go.
That's all I got.
Okay.
Mm.
And you're going?
I'm going. Yep.
And the weather's not going to be the worst?
No, it's actually gonna be quite
Oh,
nice. I think
Saturday's gonna be like 10, isn't it?
something like that. Yeah.
Oh,
At 2:00 in the afternoon, it's gonna be lovely.
I'm having my
Beautiful.
first night away from my child on Saturday, so
Oh,
That's a special time.
it's in the city,
Yeah.
so I'm not far. A friend of mine is moving, so we're just going to do her girls' night before she moves out of the province. So fingers crossed. I don't freak out. Dave doesn't freak out. Baby doesn't freak out.
Everyone's gonna be fine.
He's dropped his dream feed, which is very exciting. So when
That's
we
good.
put him to bed, that's it.
Beautiful.
At 7:30, and then he fights it for about half an hour. It's a
Just
little,
punching the air.
Kids are so fun.
pretty much, Mark. Pretty much. He does a Chris. I don't know if you had this. He does this like he just like humps the air.
Okay.
I don't know
It's
if
waking me up.
any of your children do this, but
I
he kind
don't
of gets
think
on
so.
his forearms and his knees and just like
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
humps it. So that's what he does while he fights sleep.
It's awesome.
And when he's sitting on your lap and he gets really excited, he just humps the air forward. It's really fun.
he's just trying to work out, man. He's just trying to work
He
out, hitting the gym.
just likes humping. So little humping machine.
Perfect.
Well, if that's all for sports news, check us out on all social medias. Another big hit to Instagram. So please join us for the end of the saga of what's going to happen with the oranges on a plate. Does it
can't
have
wait.
anything to do with the cops in my complex? Did it have anything to do with the person sleeping on the bench? Hopefully we'll have answers to this. And at Scotchboarding for your betting desires, at the Mark Bunn for more in-depth coverage, shots bets for more shots bets. I try and post one a night or one as often as I can, but Gabe is posting more a night to that account. Otherwise, thanks for listening, everybody.